What up? Peace, peace, peace. Good morning, good morning. Hope all is well with everybody. Just want to come back with another video. Going into being a surety again, saying if you're going to do something for somebody, whether it be a friend, family member, or whoever, just you have to go by your word and do it. And if you don't do it, if it doesn't happen, if something happens, you gotta come back, shame face it, or come back, like in a more apologetic spirit. Then, actually, let me get it real quick, cause let's get Proverbs 6 and Proverbs 6:1. Cause I touched on this like a while ago. I think I did be on this like last year. I don't know, but yeah, it's Proverbs 6:1. My son, if thou be a surety for thy friend, if thou hast stricken thy hand with a stranger, thou art snared with words of thy mouth, that thou art taken with the words of thy mouth. So, do this now, my son, deliver thyself when thou come into the hand of thy friend, and go humble thyself and make sure to thy friend. So that's basically saying, if you are going to do something for somebody, whether it be a friend or somebody, and you come back and or something happens, you don't do it, you gotta come back shamefaced. You gotta come back, more in the spirit of like being apologetic, saying no, and try to make it right. Not saying, because I've been guilty of this a lot. Saying, oh, I got life too, or or getting mad. You gotta remember that you agreed. This is something that you agreed on, saying you're gonna do, and if you don't do it, you gotta come back shamefaced. And you gotta, come back and be repentful, be sorry for that person, and try to make it right. So I wanted, because I was actually reading Ecclesiastes 23 yesterday, and kind of touched on this. So I'm reading Oxford because I like how it read in the Oxford. Because no, let me read Proverbs 6:1 first in the Oxford. It says, "My son, if you give yourself a pledge to another person and stand surety for a stranger, if you are caught by your promise, trapped by some promise you have made, this is what you must do, my son, to save yourself. Since you have come into the power of another, bestir yourself and go and pester the man, and give yourself no rest, allow no sleep." So you say, free yourself like a gazelle from a net, and like a bird from the grasp of a fowler. So that's that. Solomon's going into is like, if you promise somebody, or say you're gonna do something for somebody, whether it be shake hands on it, or you just promise them that you're gonna do something for somebody, and it ends up doesn't happen, and you gotta go back, shamefaced and sorrowful and repentful. It says go back. I like how it reads. This one reads. This translation reads. It says, bestir yourself and go and pester the man and give yourself no rest. So, you kind of got to keep that on your mind. You have to make that right, that person that you say you're going to do something for something for, and, you can't come back with that's an evil spirit if you come back saying, oh, I got life too. I got, if you get mad about it. So, that happens to me a lot, I might say I might do something to somebody and end up not happening, and that happened in the past, and end up, getting mad or kind of getting annoyed by it. But I said I was going to do it, so that's something we all got to keep in mind. But I want to go to Sirach 23. I'm just gonna read it out of Oxford because I like how it read. I was reading that yesterday, so let's see here. All right, this is Sirach 23, verse 11. One given to oaths is wicked to the core. The rod will never be far from his house. If he goes back, all right, yeah, it's verse 11. I'll start over because I didn't call it. Verse Sirach, also known Ecclesiastes, also known as Sirach, chapter 23 and verse 11. It says, one given to oaths is wicked to the core. the rod will never be far from his house. If he goes back on his word, he must bear the blame. So it says if he goes back, so sorry about that. So it says if you go back, fix this camera. It says if you go back on your word, like Proverbs 6:1 and on down says, you must bear the blame. You gotta eat that. You gotta come back shamefaced. You gotta come back sorrowful. You gotta come back trying to make it right with that person. And reading on, it says if he willfully neglects it, he sins twice over. If his oath was insincere, punishment will overtake him and his house, and will be filled with trouble. That's deep right there. I like to going on these scriptures, man, because a lot of times I can it can kind of get skipped over, but this is like powerful right here. So it says just how like much it says it's going into, like if go back and you're not go back in your word, or if you don't do something that you promised to somebody. This is what it said. This is what's going into. It said if he willfully neglects it, he sins twice over. So if he get annoyed or get mad or said something you said you're going to do, then if you don't do it, then it says his oath was insincere, and the punishment will overtake him and his house. So yeah, it's basically saying same thing as Proverbs 6:1 is saying. So and as you read Sirach and read Ecclesiastes, you really see, as it says in the beginning of the book, the little summary of the book, how inspired he was by Solomon, because he's saying the same thing as Solomon. So, and that also proves that Apocrypha teaches the same thing as the scriptures. So, but I don't want to get off topic, but it says, I'm gonna read this again. Ecclesiastes chapter 23 verses 11. One given to oaths is wicked to the core. The rod will never be far from his house. If he goes back on his word, he must bear the blame. If he willfully neglects it, so it says, if he willfully neglects it, he sins twice over. So yeah, man, that's saying a lot right there. And if his oath was insincere, punishment will overtake him, and his house will be filled with trouble. So yeah, man, that's really deep right there, man. So we gotta remember, if we're gonna say something, we're gonna do something for somebody, and we don't do, we gotta come back and try and make it right with that person. And I still gotta learn this. No matter how annoyed or mad you might get, no matter how many things you might be juggling, this is what is commanded of us. So I gotta keep this in mind every time I'm in a situation like this. We all should keep this in mind. So I'm gonna read this one more time so we can kind of bring it home. All right, I'll start verse 11. I'll read the whole thing again. It says, one given to oaths is wicked to the core. The rod will never be far from his house. If he goes back on his word, he must bear the blame. If he willfully neglects it, he sins twice over. If his oath was insincere, punishment will overtake him, and his house will be filled with trouble. So, yeah, man, that's really heavy right there. It's all being the surety for whether it be a friend or somebody in business or just whatever, in whatever aspect of life. So that's really it. Hopefully this is edifying, man. I read this yesterday, so I know it just kind of going into being a surety, So yeah, man. Hopefully this is edifying. Hopefully y'all have a good day, man. So peace.